So I finally saved up enough money to get myself a joiner planer combo. This is something I've had my eye on for quite some time, and I decided to go with the Hammer A3-31. This is a 12-inch joiner planer. I did look at the A3-41 as well, and the main reason I didn't go with that was it was a little more expensive, but also I didn't think that I would be able to get it through the door in my basement shop, and then also the weight of it. I thought maybe it would be impossible to get into the shop without putting in a larger door. So I went with the smaller A3, that's the 12-inch. And as you can see here, it is quite large, and it's actually 720 pounds with the crate and the joiner itself. So this got dropped off at my house, and I started scratching my head thinking, how am I going to get this in the basement? And so I started calling around to see if there was anyone that could maybe help me with it. And I called some local movers. They said we could give it a shot, but there's no guarantees. The quotes they were giving me was $750. They were just going to bring 4 or 5 guys over, try to get it into the basement. And they said if they can't get it in, I'd still have to pay. So that wasn't working. I did call a mover that did have some experience with moving woodworking tools. I got that from a reference from the local woodworking shop, and they did say they could do it as well, but they also were quoting $600. So it seemed a bit steep to get this in the basement. I did put up a Reddit thread and or a subreddit, and I think it was on woodworking, that I made a post and was just trying to pick people's brains on how they got it in the basement. Plenty of sarcasm, but also some good ideas. Some of the good ideas were calling a safe mover. They have particular tools for moving 1,000-pound safes. Piano movers, I actually did call a couple of safe movers and a piano mover. All of them said they couldn't do it for insurance reasons. So I just kind of started to brainstorm and came up with my own way to get it in the basement using tools that I already had, and then I picked up a couple of things from Harbor Freight. And so as you can see here, I'm just using a car jack I already had, jacked it up, and then these wheels I bought from Harbor Freight. I think they were 6-inch wheels. 2 of them are fixed wheels and 2 of them have bearings on them. Put some on the front and back. Also reinforced some of the wood here because the base for the wheels were a little large, just to make sure I had enough space. Then once I had the wheels all on, I decided to put these long 2x4s, I think they were 8 feet, and fasten them on the sides. I figured just in case this gets a little top heavy and starts to tip, these will save me. And I think on the way out it actually made it a little more difficult to get it around the side of the house, but it was definitely a safety mechanism to have in place, just in case it would start to tip. Here's the other item I picked up from Harbor Freight. I picked up a couple of ropes. These are both rated for 600 pounds. 600 probably would have been enough for just a single rope, but I figured I might as well double up. So I got a couple of ropes and then tied a knot around the tree here. And then I'm running the rope around the bottom of the crate itself just to hold it in place as I go down the hill. The wheels, it maybe would have been a better idea to get wheels that were air-filled and a little larger. I just wasn't quite sure how high I would be able to jack up the crate. And then also, one of the advantages of these harder wheels, even though it makes it harder to push around the side of the house here, once you get on the hill itself, it doesn't roll quite as fast, so it actually goes down the hill a bit slower. So there is a trade-off there. And the ground is really uneven. It's really hard to see from the video, but the ground has a lot of dips in it, which made it really difficult at this point. And a lot of times only 2 or 3 wheels at a time were on the ground, but I was able to get it to the top of the hill. Then I just double looped the rope around that bottom part of the crate, and then I was ready to start pushing it towards the gate, towards the bottom of the hill. And as I went down the hill, I just slowly fed some of the rope with my left hand to allow it to move down the hill, and then guided it with both hands and with my feet. And it actually, I thought this would be the most difficult part of the moving of the machine, but it actually turned out to be the easiest. And I think that was because I decided to go with the wheels that I did that dug into the ground a little bit and It moved a lot slower than you would expect from larger wheels. Then once I was at the gate, I needed to cut off the sides of the crate so that it would fit through the gate, and then also so it could fit through that final door. In the rocked area, I just threw down some old scrap wood that I had and then started rolling it in. Once inside, the next task was how am I going to get the machine off of the crate and onto the floor, and then I also had a mobile base I wanted to put it on. So I just decided I'm going to jack this up and take the wheels off. Then I removed the screws that had some braces that were bracing the machine to the pallet itself, and then I used some of the wood from the pallet to create a little ramp to help slide it off. Then once I had it off the pallet itself, I just started setting up that mobile base. I assembled one side of the mobile base, then I was able to lift up one side of the joiner planer and slide that side under. I also used a couple of blocks to help even it out. Then I went to the other side and assembled that side as well, and was able to pick up the other side and slide that in. And once I got all the bolts fastened in, I was ready to slide the whole machine off of that OSB and then get the machine in place. I gotta say, it was quite a bit of work, but it was also kind of a fun creative project figuring out how to get that in the basement. It seems like the professionals, in addition to want to charge $600-700, bring out 4 guys. There was also lead time on that too, which was, some of them said 3 weeks, some of them said 4 weeks. So once this was delivered, I was able to get this in my basement once the weekend hit. And it was a lot of work, and after I was all done, it almost felt like I had been deadlifting for a few hours, but also a fun little workout. So hopefully there's some ideas here for anybody that's also thinking about getting this joiner planer or has other woodworking tools they're trying to get into their shop and need some ideas on how to move them around if you've only got 1 or 2 people. Leave some comments in the comments section. Thanks.